This is the part where I talk, I guess. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you. Hello to everybody that's come in so far. Hello, Isaac. Give a big hug for my little nephew, Ethan. And say hello to Kirsten. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, I had to start a little late. I had to go round up some ibuprofen because I've got a thumper. It's all right. It'll get better here shortly after a few ibuprofen. Usually it gets better. So it's not like a migraine or something. It's just a headache, you know. You know how it goes. We get them. That's because all the activity going on in my brain pan. So anyway, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. This is the Paranormal Portal, and we got a lot of things to get to tonight. Obviously, we're going to be getting to the news shortly. That'll be leading off the show tonight. And then we're going to get to... we got to get to the Discord question of the week tonight. Thanks to our very own Chucky. Yeah, Chucky Danger got it for me. Yeah, BJ, your joke definitely might be my problem for all I know. Might be why I've got a headache actually, but yeah, you never know. Yeah, it's just we've got the question of the week. And then we got to get to what the hell is that? I'm gonna do a freaky phenomena. I'm going to do a story from Phantoms and Monsters that covers some freaky phenomena. You're right, it isn't, Rachel. Thank you for that. Thank you, Deborah. Rachel and Deborah. You guys are like the radar twins. That's awesome. All right, let's turn it on. Let's turn it on so we can see who's visiting from the other side. Maybe. All right, it is the 21st. Wow. How about that? Second day of spring. Jeez, already. I tell you what, it was a beautiful day here today. And I was really, really, really loving it. I actually went out and breathed some of the fresh air because it wasn't freezing. But yeah, it was a beautiful day. And I talked to Portal Mom, and she said it was 70 over there in Minnesota. Still got a coating of snow and everything over there. I got just lawn. I mean, I got grass here in the upper panhandle of Idaho, but they had 70 degrees, I guess, in Minnesota. So, yeah, we are going to get to what the hell is that, Andrew, which is going to come after Freaky Phenomena. And then we're going to hit the Cryptid Corner to round it all out for the night. So we got that going for us. Quai malsum nit sakao, BJ. Nit sakaso. Sakaso. All right. I don't know what you're saying, Josie, but you're speaking code. It sounds cool. I don't know what it means. I don't know. I don't know what I said, but whatever I said, hopefully that was good. Hopefully it was good. And that's going to be about the show. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm got a hankering for some paranormal. And by God, you know, it's kind of like cowbell. You can never have too much. Can never have too much cowbell or paranormal portal. Anyway, portal. This is it. What is it? This is it. It was the fresh air that got to you, Brent. Not used to warm, fresh air. Yeah, that might be it. And vitamin D, probably, because I actually saw some sunshine. So, God knows. No, I take supplements for vitamin D during the winter. And seems to help keep me sane. Quai malsum sakaso means hello, Wolfpack sister. Oh, well, there you go. Hello to my Wolfpack sisters. Yeah, I don't know that I belong to the Wolfpack, but I'm happy to have you guys here. Till ghost hands choke you awake. What is that? That was the second part of some kind of statement. Aggravated progressive. I don't know what the first part was like, but I don't know. Just going to leave it there, I guess. Hello, Grandizer came in. Wow, Grandizer. It's not, you don't usually come in until like the last 5 minutes. It's nice to get you a little early tonight. That's good. Got a hankering for some monsters and cryptids. And not named Bigfoot or Dogman. Cover Fat Man. I cover Fat Man every time I pull the blankets up. That's right. I'm here all night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all night. I don't know. It's not really self-deprecation. I've had my fill of ghosts. What? I don't know. We might top it off tonight. I don't know. No, actually, I don't think we got a lot of ghostly stuff tonight. I got some weird phenomena. I got some pretty good cryptid stories. What the hell is that? Does obviously feature some ghost stuff because that's a big part of the audio visual proof. And that's what you do. Brent, it's my native tongue, Abenaki. Oh, very cool. I think it's beautiful. I love languages. I really do. I wish I was multilingual, that I could just hear any language and know what people are saying. In fact, it actually kind of pains me when I can hear people having a conversation, but I can't appreciate what they're talking about. Not because I'm nosy, but it's just because I think that communicating is so important. And being able to communicate is so important. So we can share ideas, we can talk, and, maybe I could use your counsel on some issue. And you know what I mean? Like when I go over to Indonesia, I do speak some Indonesian, but the speed at which they talk makes it absolutely a different language. Even though I recognize a lot of the words, they just fly by so quick. I can't grab the meaning. I speak very slowly, and I just feel very isolated when I'm there just because of that speed, and I wish I was better at it. So yeah, they do have apps for that. You're right. I think AIs and technology will close that gap, but I still think it'd be kind of cool to go to sleep and like dream in another language. I think that'd be really cool to have a discussion and wake up and go, wow, that was fill in the blank, Japanese. That was Bahasa Indonesia or whatever. It would be really neat. Brent, you speak it when no one was looking. Yes. I speak all kinds of crazy language when nobody's looking. I'm not even sure I know what the hell I'm saying, Grandizer. But no, I do practice a little bit, but not enough. That's my problem. All right, so I think it's time for some news. I don't know about you guys, but I got 3 articles pulled up, and we'll find out just what the hell's going on in the world and become better informed citizens of our global rock, our celestial rock circling this ball of fire in some corner of a galaxy far, far away. Or right out your window. I don't know how that works. Ben from Oz, how you doing, guys? Dale Atkinson is here. Elaine Clifford, good to have you here. Eric Fry is here. Phil Funk. Owl 13 is here. Or telepathy. We could all understand each other. No. I don't need more voices in my head. I have enough already. Besides, could you imagine if telepathy was a thing and you couldn't even get away with like some of the stuff you don't say that you could? You're like, oh, I can't say that. I'd be a dick. Well, then if everybody's telepathic, be like, oh, you're such an ass. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you could hear that. It would bring up a whole new level of accountability and probably interpersonal chaos. If everybody was, okay, telepathy would be fine, but like you have to like flex to use it. Not like somebody can just sit there and go, oh, you're an ass, that's not what I'd want. Yeah, more is better. Yeah. There it is. But anyway, time will tell, I guess. Maybe someday we'll unpack some of those hidden abilities lying dormant in our genome, and we'll just be all plugged in and floating stuff with our mind and long distance calling to our family members in thoughts. That'd be kind of cool. And telling the future and hugging kittens. I don't know, whatever we choose to do. Anyway, yeah, Shane Court said I'd be in trouble. Me too. It is portal time. You're right. This is part of the portal time. It's just this time when we get together and just talk. Or at least I talk, and you guys listen and type back, and I appreciate that. So you guys are my co-host tonight. There's nobody joining us. However, I have to say thank you to the unknown. He's connected with Jody Cook, and Jody Cook's going to come on the show on an upcoming Wednesday, and we're just ironing it out now. So we'll I'll definitely be posting that as soon as I nail it down. I'll let you guys know, and of course I'll post promos for it, and we'll have a talk with him. Sounds like a really cool guy. I've never met him before, but of course I've known a Jody forever. He's been just a part of the community. You demand, sir. Thanks, Eric. But special thanks to the unknown for making that connection. I appreciate that. Hi, Barbara. Don't embarrass yourself. You're never embarrassing. I'm sure my neighbors hear me say off-color stuff all the time. Good to see you, Barbara. Dog Digger and HB Girl to use over there. And Car Juice. So far, no Justin yet. No big deal. No big D. I said big deal for some reason. Anyway, Andrew Gnomes Trucking Express. Good to see you. Rachel's here. Ben from Oz is here. Undead Jed. Good to have you all here. Mel WD40 is in the house. I mean, it's just great to see you all. Of course, Ben from Oz. And, Barbara Mora. She's a wonderful friend, and have known Barbara personally. She's come to several of the conferences I've been at, and it's just been really neat to make that connection with her. She's just such a warm and lovely person, and just really appreciate the hell out of her. I appreciate all of you, but, it's really neat and really special when I have a chance to meet you guys. And Barbara, I've met several times. We get along famously. She's a doll. All right. Amandan. Oh, hi, Brent. It's Arsenia. Oh, hey, Arsenia. Good to see you. Wow, popping in. Are you in Florida? Is that where you are right now? That's really cool. Wow, thank you. We miss you, but great to have you here. Great to have you here, ladies and gentlemen, over in Rumble. Arsenia, dear friend. It's she goes by Amadan54. She's a wonderful soul as well. We miss you a lot up here. So, hi, Cal. Good to see you. Great to have you here. And I don't know. I guess Undead Jet, I already said hello to. If I didn't say hello to you, don't worry. We'll probably do shout outs at some point in a little bit. It takes people a while to get in here. So we're going to catch the news. You guys ready? Buckle in. We're about to find out what's going on in the world. And we do that because it's time for the news. Got to find the right button. There we go.
All the news you love, from the wild to the weird to the fascinating or interesting, with your host Brent Thomas.
All right, it's time for the news. Oh, Arizona. Okay, sorry. I don't know. I don't even know where I am most of the time, Arsenio. But yeah, when you get up here, definitely let us know when you're in town. We'll definitely have to connect. It would be great to see you. All right, folks, this is the Paranormal Portal News, and this is where we discuss news. Sometimes has to do with the paranormal, sometimes just the interesting, unusual. Never political, though. We don't go down the politics stuff. We get enough of that everywhere else, so I don't need to pile more politics on you guys. And we're going to find out what 3 articles I pulled up for you guys today. Always, throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different websites. And please support these sites. These sites are exceptionally well done. They are literally so professionally updated and maintained. They are incredible. So you can help to keep these sites floating by giving them your traffic. Go visit them. Go check out some of the articles over there that we'll never have a chance to cover here on the live show, because your traffic equals revenue, which keeps the lights on for them. So all we can do is support them. And God, literally, I've never found better. So please support them. All right. We're going to get to the news. The first article we've got coming up tonight is from our news source on the Paranormal Portal. It's really exceptionally well done. This is the best news site I've ever found. And this is called unexplained-mysteries.com. And the first article is Scientists Identify the 45 Most Earth-like Extrasolar Worlds Ever Found. That's a lot of words. I guess it just means a lot of Earths out there. I don't know. That one doesn't look so good. that one looks like Hoth, the ice planet from Star Wars. But let's see what it says. I don't know if this will be interesting or not, but I don't know. We may need a place to go to if we keep screwing this up. I don't know. Let's check it out. The short list was picked out of more than 6,000 candidates based on a range of factors pertaining to habitability. Given that we still only know of one planet in the entire universe with life, our own, well, yeah, but there's more out there, clearly. It's difficult to build up a full picture of what conditions might give rise to life on other worlds. That said, by looking at the Earth, it is possible to come up with a list of specific properties of an extrasolar world most likely to give rise to extraterrestrial life. For example, being located in a planet's star's habitable zone, where the temperature is sufficient to allow liquid water to exist on the surface, makes a planet far more likely to be habitable. Now, in a new study, scientists have built up a catalog of the most Earth-like worlds in the known universe. A selection of 45 prime candidates picked out from around 6,000 known extrasolar worlds. What does that mean? Oh, not yet. Yeah. I got to show you guys this. The missus cracks open the door and she goes like this. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And she's talking about her cat. He's still outside. I'm just like, does this mean cat to any of you guys? I'm just curious. Because I didn't get cat from that at all. I was a little floored by that. That's hilarious. Anyway, that just killed me. Sorry. Get back to the article. This is not cat. This is cat. It cracked me up. Some of these may be familiar, such as Proxima Centauri b, which orbits our closest neighbor. Among the others, most promising candidates are several of the worlds in the TRAPPIST-1 system, which is situated about 40 light years away from the Earth. No problem, just 40 light years. Right. While it's hard to say what makes something more likely to have life, identifying where to look is the first key step, said study author Gillis Lowry. So the goal of our project was to say, here are the best targets for observation. So how will we know if there really is life on any of these worlds? One way to directly... I keep thinking of this and thinking cat. Where does cat come into that? Sorry, it's just my head. One of the ways to directly observe their atmospheres, something that can be achieved by depending on the planet through next generation telescopes, such as the James Webb Space Telescope or the upcoming Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. If we find one with near identical atmosphere to our own, it would be a major sign that we might have finally discovered the first ever known inhabited alien world. Why does it have to be just like ours, though? That said, that alone wouldn't be enough to know for certain that there really is life out there. Unfortunately, we may never be completely sure without actually visiting the planet ourselves. Yeah, but, I mean, there's an assumption that whatever soup was here is the only way life can form. I mean, that's not necessarily right, correct? I mean, isn't it possible there could be other, like, I don't know, nitrogen-based life forms instead of carbon? I mean, we just don't know. We only have one example to draw from, and to assume that every other planet with life has to equal our setup. And I don't know, maybe I'm talking out my ears here. I don't know. Maybe I'm not right, and maybe there can't be a nitrogen-based life. I don't know, but it just seems to me that we have such an expectation of our human barometer, and if it has to fit into our human barometer, otherwise it's not life. And obviously I don't believe that's true, but anyway, I don't know. Anyway, that's my take on that. And so there you go. We're looking for more planets. Probably be planetary real estate at some point in the future. It's turn on cable and they'll be talking about Proxima b or something, getting a condo there. Who knows? Probably Mars first, though, right? That'll be Elon. But that was the first article. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Is this the one I'm on? Is that right? Yeah, that's right. But don't worry, there's more. I got more for you. Let me close that one, and we'll get to the next one. You remember being young and in love. And when you're young and in love, it's like it's this all-consuming passion, and it just eats at your brain like a mind virus, this young love thing. That's all you can think about, and it's all consuming, and it causes you to be all kinds of a special idiot. And this kid's obviously no exception. This kid might have won the prize for the dumbest thing I've ever heard of Young Love, but there probably is worse. But let's check it out. This one comes from the world of the bizarre from Unexplained-Mysteries. 15-year-old steals bus, then drives 80 miles to pick up his girlfriend. That's quite the date. Yeah. A teenager had seemingly managed to take the bus without anyone realizing for quite some time. According to reports, the bizarre incident began on March 13th when the 15-year-old, who hails from Wiesbaden in Germany, surreptitiously snuck out into the bus department, gained access to one of the master keys, and then he made his way into one of the buses, started the engine, and drove it away. At first, nobody had actually realized that the bus had been stolen, instead believing that one of the drivers had simply taken the wrong vehicle by mistake. Incredibly, despite having no formal training, the boy managed to drive the bus 80 miles to Karlsruhe, where he stopped to pick up his girlfriend. She must have been so impressed. Yeah, it's my new ride. It was shortly after this when police officers finally tracked him down. Suffice to say, the 15-year-old is now in a lot of trouble, having been charged with a string of offenses ranging from theft of a vehicle to driving without a license. Exactly how he managed to steal the master key for the bus remains unclear, as does how he had succeeded in driving such a large vehicle more than 80 miles without incident. Well, at least he seems to have found his calling, that is, at least if anyone ever lets him get behind the wheel of a bus again. There you go. I don't know. Why not a bus? I guess there's lots of room. Hang out, Netflix and chill. I don't know. There it is, folks. Just get a bus. Get a bus. Why not? Makes perfect sense. Hello, Cindy Bailey, over on Facebook. Good to see you. Thanks for checking out the show. So, haven't heard of kids stealing a bus before, but there you have it. Now we're going to the extraterrestrial files. This one's more in our wheelhouse, so to speak, here on the portal. But we'll check this one out. And I don't know if it's a big thing or not. I don't know. A lot of people are taking this as a sign of, ooh, something's coming. Something's coming. I don't think it necessarily is. It's probably just a place for them to post a lot of the garbage that they've been holding on to regarding aliens and sightings. And this is news from unexplained-mysteries.com. The extraterrestrial files mystery as U.S. government registers alien.gov and aliens.gov domain names. So that's the big hubbub right now. And I don't think it's probably as big a deal as obviously people are making of it, but let's check it out. It's not too long. Rumors of an impending alien disclosure are rife after the White House registered two mysterious new domain names. According to federal records, the U.S. government has added two new domains to its portfolio this week, but these aren't any typical ordinary domains. They are a sign that something significant may be in the works. There it is. That's the hook. Oh, what are they doing? Why did they need those domain names? Probably just to post all of the sighting reports they get from all over the place. It's kind of like Santa mail, It's like the post office could probably buy, Santa.com and post all the Santa letters they get. But the two domains, alien.gov and aliens.gov, quickly attracted a great deal of press attention while generating speculation that a major release of UFO-related material may be about to happen. Probably not. Back in February, Trump ordered the federal agencies to begin releasing the government's files on UFOs and aliens, so it's possible that these two domains will be used to host a website through which members of the public will be able to access the information. Probably, which I don't think is it's fine, but it's not really earth-shattering. The news also comes from about a month after UK filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee claimed that he had been told by a government insider that Trump had already written a speech disclosing the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life. Initially, the speech was to be given during the United Nations address at some point later this year, but this was then changed to July 8th to coincide with the anniversary of the Roswell incident. According to the insider, Trump has been adamant that the speech should be associated with the infamous incident which saw an alleged alien spacecraft crash on a ranch outside Roswell, New Mexico in 1947 because of its symbolic association with the UFO phenomena. So could alien.gov and aliens.gov be the real deal? Could these domains point to an up-and-coming website containing all of the U.S. government's knowledge on UFOs and alien visitors? It's almost certain that something is going to be hosted there. Yeah. Wow, great summation there, Sherlock. The question is, what will it be? Yeah, it's absolutely right. What will it be? Probably not as fantastic as some people are hoping, but maybe it'll be something. Who knows? Time will tell, folks. But I tell you what, that has been the roundup tonight for the news. I hope you guys found it entertaining and relaxing and informative and maybe even humorous. I think the best part, the highlight tonight was my wife trying to explain cat to me through sign language. That still cracks me up. All right, let's get back to the rest of the show. We got to get to the Discord question of the week and the freaky phenomena and so much more. So let's get to it.
When breaking news happens, Paranormal Portal is there.
It's not looking so good out here, Brent.
Award-winning and most trusted news.
Brent, the thief broke into the donut shop in the middle of the night. Be on the lookout. The man is in his late 60s, heavy set, and wearing some kind of hat.
First, live, local.
Is this a paranormal show? Why am I doing the weather?
This is Paranormal Portal News.
There you have it. That's the news. You're right. Yeshua. Absolutely. There you go. I wouldn't doubt it. Everything's starting to surface. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Madan, maybe. I'm cautiously optimistic, I would say. I would like to believe that at some point they're just going to go, okay, fine, here's what we know. I don't know. I think there's so many dark projects and things tied to this stuff that we may never know the truth because all they have to do is cite a matter of national security. And then they can keep it hidden because if it becomes a matter of national security, letting it out would be jeopardizing national security. So it's kind of the all-in-one caveat statement. So I don't know, but maybe we'll get more than we got, and that would be good, I guess. It can't be Brent. He's 30. I'm definitely not 30. However, I'm really immature, so it kind of helps, but I'm not 30. That's for sure. I wish I had the 30-year-old body. I'll tell you that. Man, the one I got now I need to put it up on blocks. I don't care either way. I'll just deal with it when it comes. Amen, John. I think that's about the best way to look at it. Like, whatever happens, we'll find out eventually. And until then, we'll just be... I mean, honestly, I honestly don't believe that disclosure is going to move the needle at all anymore anyway, because there's so much information out there, so many accounts and stories and repositories of information that are outside of the government. And I think most people that have done any research on their own have already come to the conclusion that there's probably something out there, and there probably some of them are visiting us. And I think if you're looking for a government acknowledgement of that, it doesn't really move the needle like it maybe once would have. Now, since we have pretty much wide access to information on our own, we don't need to go through the governmental filters for the trickle of information that they felt we could handle. So, I don't know. I don't think it's probably as big a thing anymore. But time will tell. Time will tell. We'll all find out eventually, I'm sure. So, all right, so we're going to get to the next part of the show. I think I can just leave it like that. That'll work. We're going to get to the next part of the show. Why does it keep doing that? And this part of the show is one that is championed by our very own, me too, Brent. I'm 87. Aw, well, you're probably wearing 87 a hell of a lot better than I'm wearing 57. I sure feel like a bunch of washed out road, mostly. But I still got a sense of humor about it, so that's good. All right, let's get to the next segment, which is the question of the week. So let's look at this. All right, there it is, the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, and special hello to Moon at Noon, new subscriber to our Discord. And Discord is wide open to any of you guys. If you want to become a member of the Discord, please do. It's absolutely available to anybody and anyone and everyone that wants to be a part of it. However, don't come in and be a dick. Don't come in and try to troll and to be, to make problems in our community. We have an amazing group of people involved over there. And, we don't really have any time for people coming in and trying to stir the water, if you will. So if you're a good person, decent, and have a genuine interest in the paranormal, supernatural, Fortean topics, then by God, yeah, absolutely. Come on over and join us. We got a great community. Costs you absolutely nothing. Discord is absolutely free. Just go to the link that Rachel posted in the chat over on the side. It's discord.gg/paranormal portal. And you too can become a member. So Mel says 68 there. Well, we kind of got a lot of the 8s covered. I'm almost 8. I guess I got to make the May and then I'll be 58. I'm 50 years old, says Ben. The age isn't the problem. The way my body feels is. Yeah, Phil, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really feel like an age until I try to do something. Then I feel the age. It's like, oh man. It's just crazy. However, I'm just going to, at some point just have my telomeres lengthened and reverse age my body to about 30 and I'll be good. I probably won't ever do that. I probably won't live long enough for them to learn how to do that. But, Anyway, Undead Jed joined. Hey, Jed. Whoops. I was going to say hi to you, but there we go. You said hello to yourself, which is cool. You can do that. And I'll say hello to you too. So welcome. This is our Discord server. As you can see over here, Discord is kind of unusual. It's not like many other programs you've used, but it's really not hard. It's a very, very uncomplicated program. These are the topics. When you're in a server, these are the server lists over here. These are the servers that I'm involved in on Discord to some measure. There's the Paranormal Portal, and that brings you to here. And here, and you'll be in the general tab, and on the left with my mouse wheel I'm just scrolling. These are all the topic areas that you can jump into and check out the discussions or links that people have posted about some of this stuff, and you can post your own links if you know of a site that has great information or a great article you read or a great video that you saw. Post it in here and in the correct topic area, if you will, please, because a lot of people post right in general and it's like, yeah, but that's not where we want everything piling up. So do look for the topic area and post in the specific topics if you would. That helps us keep it organized and strengthens these topics. And so all you do is just click on one if you want to check it out, like go to the Bigfoot. Oh, here we are. And you can just use your mouse wheel to scroll up and down, find stuff. If you want to talk, click on the bottom here and type and then hit enter at the end and it'll send it. It's just that easy. It'll post it as well. So it's that easy to use Discord. But the reason we're here right now is for this segment. And this is the Discord question of the week. And this has been championed by our amazing friend, Mr. Chucky Danger, who is the host of his own podcast called Danger Zone, The Danger Zone. And you can find that on Spotify. But Chucky's an amazing guy, and he's been championing this every week, coming up with a new question to ask you guys. And the reason we started this is because, throughout the course of the shows, you hear my idea or, whoever is joining me, like Sheldon's ideas. But this is our opportunity to hear your ideas. So the Discord question of the week is when we ask you guys a question dealing with the paranormal, supernatural, Fortean topics, and you weigh in. Just say what you think. And again, there's no wrong answers, as Wes says, there's no wrong answers because nobody knows what this stuff is. We don't know what ghosts are. We don't know what Bigfoot and Dogman and all this stuff is, or aliens or whatever, if they're interdimensional or transdimensional, or if they're, intergalactic or whatever they are. We don't know. So just weigh in with your thoughts on whatever the question is, and you'll be just as right as anybody else and just as wrong as anybody else. It's just an idea of sharing ideas, and that's what makes it kind of fun. So let's get to the question of the week from Chucky Danger. This is the question for tonight. In your own opinion, what's the most important tool for paranormal investigations? Great question. There's lots of different tools. There's electronics, there's more manual tools, there's, lots of things that you bring in investigations. So is there one of these things that you bring that's more valuable than others in your opinion? So starting out, we got Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit, your brain. Great. Absolutely right. You are the first tool. That came out all wrong. I don't mean to imply you guys are tools, but you know what I'm saying. The first thing you should rely on is your own sensibility, your own common sense, your own intellect, your own logic as you're addressing these fantastical events. You try to debunk them with your brain. You examine them with your brain, and you weigh out what's going on with your brain. So, your brain is really a big one. John T. goes a little further and says common sense. Absolutely. I would agree with that as well, John. Very well said. ZX81V2 says a backbone. Yeah, there should be a lot more of that. And this is going to come up in some of the comments because I read a little bit ahead. But I tell you, there's those ghost shows where it's like they go looking for stuff, and then something happens. And then the next frame, you see the ghost hunters like, yeah, and they're running out. And it's like, why are you there? Why are you there if that's not what you're there for? I mean, the stuff happens and they run out like they're toddlers. And I understand it gets intense. Sometimes being in the presence of supernatural activity gets absolutely off the charts intense. So I understand, but you got to contain that. You gotta control that, I think. But anyway, backbone is a good one. ZX81V2. Barbara Mora says intuition. Oh, yeah. Very good. Someone else in chat said that too. I saw that up above. Oh, that was Adventures with Beth said that. Yeah. Yeah, intuition is a strong tool. Very strong tool. I really rely heavily on mine because, I do, when I'm investigating, I like to just stop and feel. Like, even if stuff's going on, does it feel nefarious? Does it feel like it wants to rip your lips off as much as look at you? Or does it just seem to be doing things to get your attention or to let you know that they're there? And I don't know. I trust my intuition very much. I've come to rely on it throughout my life, and it's usually dead on. So I really believe intuition is a powerful observational tool and a good metric to measure things by. Doesn't mean it can't be wrong, but just generally speaking. So Android Paranormal comes up next. It's having balls of steel so you do not run when something insane finally happens. Strong guts can be substitute for the ladies. Yeah, fair enough. I think you've got to be expecting that something can happen. If you're going to a place where there's claims of like, oh, something floated, moved, doors slam, I heard the scream, I saw this head peeking out from a doorway. Well, there's a chance that you may be witnessing that, so kind of steel yourself for it. And don't run out screaming, because I don't think that certainly doesn't, if it's a private dwelling or a dwelling that they're letting you in to help solve their problems and you're running away screaming, that's a real bad look. And it's not going to help move the needles here. So, try to stick with it and settle yourselves. And you might have to swallow a little bit of fear, but that's okay. You're probably going to be just fine. All right, ZX81V2 comes in again and says, it's true, though. How many ghost investigators have you seen that as soon as they actually witness something, they Scooby-Doo out the door, leaving a dust trail behind them? Yeah, a lot, unfortunately. And it doesn't represent the field very well. It doesn't. Smoke and Joe just said 9 // I'm not sure what that means, Smoke and Joe. I'm not sure where to go with this one. But something about 9. BJ Lapierre comes in next and says, I think the most important tool you can use when doing paranormal investigations, at least for ghosts, is your own senses. The way you feel, how your body reacts to their presences and such. When I'm out and the spirit comes near me, I get a tingly feeling in my head and then goosebumps on my arms. I can feel them close to me. And the closer they are, the stronger the feeling is. and the more goosebumps I get. You can even tune into the approximate area that the spirit is in by using that same technique. That's how I do it when I'm out on an investigation. But it may not work for all the same way. I do have other tools on hand, like most others, but for me, and in my opinion, that I would say is the most important tool for paranormal investigation as far as the spirits go. First and foremost, it's your own senses. Yeah, I think that's great. I don't get the goosebumpy thing. What I notice is like serious chills, like not a tingly chill, but like serious coldness next to me. And I've felt it many, many times in investigations and sitting here in the studio, like the day I got scratched, after Don had something walk through him where he was sitting right next to me, and something came right through him, and he was just like, and the ghost radar went off at the same time. And yeah, I could feel this ice cold presence next to me. So yeah, the physical sensations are important, and it's not that, chills is better or worse, or tingles is better or worse. It's just that's the way my body seems to receive that energy or detect it. So very cool. Karen Alberting comes in next and says, your own senses. You guys are absolutely on this. Yeah, everybody's got the same school of thought. Because I think a lot of people just throw out tools, and I throw out a lot of tools too, don't get me wrong. But to rely on those as the only measure or metric, it's a representation of activity that can be triggered, but it's not the only one. You got to use your ears, your eyes, your sensations. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the best, though. If I absolutely had to go with something, it would be an IR type thing, whatever it is, that reads temperature. Oh, yeah, the FLIR, forward-looking IR. As if you go ghost hunting and you get frightened, don't go. What's the point if every sound or shadow sends you screaming or running? Good point. Well, that's what's wrong with the ghost shows. Use your own senses are the best no matter what. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, here we go with Rachel. And she says, I'd say the most important tool is trusting your gut. In a haunted location, you may be experiencing something. Your gut can feel if that something is dangerous. Yeah, trust your gut for sure. It could be a living person who might pose a danger to you, and your investigation crew knowing when to leave a location for safety can be more important than recording paranormal activity. Yeah, absolutely. Can be dangerous. I mean, it can be dangerous for a lot of reasons. A lot of haunted locations are in various states of disrepair, and so just even you get a bad feeling about a stairwell, don't go. You might go falling through it if you try to go up. If it doesn't look good, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Yep, exactly. So next comes Moon at Noon. Time. And the parting of the Red Sea. Okay. What is... So time is a tool. Yeah. I'm trying to understand how that can apply, Moon at Noon. Like, what is time? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that one word answer can mean. But I think, there is a merit to what I could say about time is that if you expect to go into a haunted location and you get it for one night and you go in there and absolutely expect something's going to happen, you're probably going to get disappointed. Like, I don't think this stuff is ever happening all the time. It just happens when it happens, why it happens, where it happens. And there's not always a rhyme or reason or a logic for it. Could be something to do with energy fluctuations, could be something to do with they're just busy, or maybe they're in a state of stasis most of the time and they just kind of come out of it every once in a while and make stuff happen and then go back into the state of stasis. I don't know. We don't know. But usually paranormal activity, and this is true for pretty much every place that I've lived that's had activity, it's never all the time. But it's once in a while. And you got to just hit it right. Maybe you'll be there at that right time and when things are going to really pop off. And maybe you won't. And that's okay too. It doesn't mean it's not haunted. It just means you didn't catch anything while you were there. So maybe that's the way time applies. Not sure about the parting of the Red Sea. I think that one goes back to the last one. He's answering the last one. If you could go back to any moment in time and observe it, what would it be? So I think he's talking about that. So very cool. This is the Moon at Noon's first question of the week. So he's answering them all. God bless him. There we go. Great responses. I think you're all on the right page. I think first and foremost, trust your own self and your own senses. You've been living in your body your whole life. You know when something feels different. Definitely pay attention to that, because that could very well be a strong indicator of a presence or an energy being around. So I agree. Time is a paranoia trick invented by the Swiss to sell watches. Well, there's that. There is that. But before watches, it was sundials. So it's been around a long time. Been around a long time, the whole time thing. But there we have it. That was the question of the week. Thank you to everybody who took the time to participate. Again, this community is open to anybody that wants to join. Cost you nothing. Discord itself will cost you nothing. It's a free app for you guys to buy. I have to pay to, keep the server going with the static URL. But other than that, we'd love to have you become a part of it. So discord.gg/paranormal portal. Thank you, Barbara, for posting that over in Rumble. I appreciate it. And all right, that's been the Discord question of the week, folks. The question of the week. Very cool. All right. That was fun. Thank you, Chucky. You rocked it again, brother. That was a great question. Very good. Very well thought out. All right. Thank you, Nathan Nate. God bless you, sir. $20 Canadian. Woo! Today is the release day of Missing 411 National Parks Washington State movie. Wow. I did not know that. Okay. Very cool. Did you watch it, or are you going to watch it? You have to let me know. And after you watch it, let me know. Was it good? What do you think? I love it if you guys, kind of give me rundowns on what you guys check out. Josie says, I've lived in my house for 250 years. My roommates say this place is haunted, and honestly, I haven't seen anything. I remember that meme. I got one posted on Instagram. It's a little boy coming up to his dad and said, Dad, is our house haunted? And Dad's like, why you ask me that? He said, well, the maid told me our house is haunted. He goes, get your gear, get your bag. We don't have a maid. Yeah, so there you have it. All right. It is time for a segment we haven't done a ton of, but this was a great article that I found from Phantoms and Monsters. Lon Strickler's posted recently, and I was like, ooh, this one looks like a good one. So I think we should do it and go over this quickly. Here it is. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Freaky Phenomena. It's time for Freaky Phenomena. That's how we roll here. So let me see, where in the hell is it? Which one is it? That's not it. This is it. Here we go. This one has to do with a time slip. Do you hear me going to puberty? This one has me. I almost went full Mickey Mouse there. This one has me do. This one has to do with time slips, as I just said, and this one was at Heathrow Airport in London. I don't know when. I haven't read the article. It's like everything else. I cold read it with you guys, so we'll find out together what's going on in this one. But this is Phantoms and Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lon Strickler's site, and it's a hell of a site. I hope you guys check it out at some point. Lon does an exceptional job keeping this updated. He updates several times every day with new articles and stuff. And there's such a backlog of incredible articles that he's posted through the years. So you can find a ton of information and reports here at phantomsandmonsters.com. So please do. And then check out Lon's podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube or on Facebook. He streams on both. So I don't know if he streams anywhere else or not, but I know he streams on those two. It's a great show where you get Lon talking about this stuff himself. And he answers questions from listeners at the end of every show. People can ask him about different topics, and he'll weigh in on it. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, here we go. This one is Time Slip at Heathrow Airport, London. British father encounters mysterious travelers from another era. And I think time slips are absolutely fascinating. And I think it'd be kind of exciting to experience one myself. I've experienced a spatial slip, but I've shared that several times, and I don't want to be redundant like, oh, I'm going to tell you the same stories over and over and over and over and over and over and over. No. All right, well, let's read this article and find out what's going on. Airports are places of constant movement, strict schedules, and carefully controlled environments. Yet, one British traveler recently described a disturbing incident at London's Heathrow International Airport that left him questioning the very nature of time and reality. While walking down a passenger corridor with his children on their way to a flight to Paris, he briefly encountered two strangers dressed in clothing that appeared to be from the 40s. Moments later, both individuals vanished without explanation. Even more unsettling, his daughter insisted he had never been in the corridor at all. Oh. My youngest children and I were at the international airport recently, and we were waiting to board a flight to Paris. When the boarding announcement came, the waiting area emptied quickly and everyone began moving down a long passenger corridor. My children went ahead with the group, and as I started walking down the corridor, I realized I had fallen well behind the others. And by the time I reached the midpoint of the passage, the entire group ahead of me had already disappeared, down a staircase at the far end. The corridor suddenly felt very empty. And I remember feeling strangely isolated, but I continued walking. And then I heard footsteps behind me. It immediately gave me some comfort. I thought I wasn't the only one alone after all. And I glanced to my right and saw a man walking beside me, and he was wearing a brown suit and shoes, the sort of formal suit you might expect from the 1940s. The style looked distinctly old-fashioned. I then glanced to my left and noticed a woman walking there as well. She was dressed very smartly in a black jacket and skirt with black half-heeled shoes. She carried a handbag and had a sort of short dark hair. Her appearance also seemed oddly out of place for a modern airport. We walked together down the corridor for about 10 yards. And then I suddenly stopped hearing the man's footsteps. I quickly turned to my right to look at him, but he was gone. I looked to my left. The woman was still there, walking quietly beside me. When we reached the staircase at the end of the corridor, I stepped aside to let the woman go down first, but she vanished too. Ooh, that's wild. I looked back along the corridor, and there were no ramps or side corridors where either of them could have turned off. There were doors along the walls, but if someone had opened one and stepped through, it would have led to a drop of more than 20 feet. There was simply nowhere for them to go. Well, I went down the stairs and met my son. I immediately asked him where my youngest daughter, Paige, was. He told me she had gone back up the stairs to look for me. A moment later, Paige started coming down towards us. The first thing she said was, "Dad, how did you get here?" Well, I told her I'd just walked down the corridor and come down the stairs. Well, she looked confused. "You weren't there. I went back along the corridor to find you, and you weren't anywhere." I insisted that I had been there the entire time. She shook her head and said I definitely had not been there. At that point, I simply said, "It seems to have happened again." My children know about these incidents. This sort of thing has been happening to me since I was about 7 years old. Oh, well, see, that's a kind of a surprise piece of information now. I can enter a room and suddenly find myself in what feels like a completely different time and place. When I was young, my mom used to tell me not to worry about it. She would say that the important thing was that I always came back. Well, that sounds like a superpower, right? The Time Lord. She was never particularly shocked by it. She once told me that she had seen plenty of strange things herself in Germany in 1945. Well, after that brief conversation, we simply boarded the plane and continued on to Paris. That was by someone going by IN. Lon has a commentary here. It said several notable patterns emerge in this report. First, the environmental isolation described by the witnesses, consistent with many time slip and dimensional overlap reports. Transitional spaces such as corridors, stairwells, roads, and wooded trails often appear in these accounts. Yeah, they do. These locations may act as perceptual or energetic thresholds. Second, the period clothing of the two individuals is significant. Numerous historical time slip cases involve witnesses who encounter people dressed in clothing from earlier decades. In several European cases, the clothing corresponds closely to the 30s through the 50s period. Third, the witness reports a recurring lifetime pattern beginning in childhood. Many experiences of temporal anomalies report early onset events followed by intermittent occurrences throughout adulthood. This may suggest a neurological sensitivity, a psychological trigger, or a rare interaction with environmental factors. Fourth, the daughter's testimony introduces a bilocation element. From her perspective, the father was not present in the corridor at all. This implies that the witness may have either briefly displaced from the physical location others perceived, and comparable cases include the Bold Street time slip in Liverpool in 1996. Yeah, that's a real famous one. Where a man suddenly found himself in the 50s version of the street only to return moments later. The Versailles time slip of 1901. Yeah, I covered both of these in a time slips episode on my podcast recently. Versailles incident in 1901 reported by two English academics who believe they briefly encountered individuals in architecture from the late 18th century. The Leeds airport incident reports are occasionally discussed in British anomalous literature, in which travelers described encountering individuals wearing outdated uniforms or clothing before the figures abruptly disappeared. Several interpretations may apply. One possibly is a temporal overlay, where two time periods momentarily intersect. Another theory involves interdimensional perception, where the witness temporarily shifts awareness into a parallel timeline. Yeah, but the guy actually disappeared to the daughter, so that's not just a perceptual thing. It would have had to have been physical as well. The third hypothesis suggests ultra-terrestrial interaction, where entities present themselves in culturally recognizable forms, draw from human memory or history. The witness himself appears calm and accustomed to the phenomena. His emotional tone is observational rather than fearful, which tends to strengthen credibility in similar reports. If the account is accurate, it represents a classic example of a modern time slip event occurring within a controlled infrastructure environment, which should, in theory, prevent unexplained intrusions. There you go. And another note at the bottom. Time slip experiences remain among the most perplexing anomalies reported in Fortean research. Unlike traditional ghost sightings or UFO encounters, these events suggest the temporal overlay of different historical moments, whether caused by environmental triggers, unknown physics, or interactions with non-human intelligence. Such reports raise profound questions about the nature of time and human perception. Well, there you go. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think it's a fascinating story. I like these a lot because, again, it's one of those incredibly profound events where a lot of things, it seems like it's only one thing happened, but a lot of things are actually going on. There's a lot of mechanics being done and a lot of physics being bent, I guess is probably a good way to put it. So it's very interesting. But, if you believe in that sort of thing, there you have it. If you don't, well, I wonder if time slips and the way time seems to be going by faster are related. I've wondered that too, Shane, because when I was a kid, man, a weekend lasted forever. Summer break was infinite. But as I've gotten older, it's like I blink and we're back to Christmas. It's like, what the hell happened? How did we get here? And it's definitely my perception of time is so much faster. Now, it could be due to the fact that as we get older, our lives become geometrically more complicated than they were as kids. And so when you're just a kid and you're living in your moment, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's, that's the key to, living a good life is just remain in your moment. But as adults, we're always thinking ahead or behind or, focused on what's coming or lamenting what has been or, we're never where we are. And maybe that has a big part of it. We're never when we are either. So I think probably that's a lesson for all of us. But you're right. I've definitely noticed that, man, time is screaming by. Next week, I'll probably be in a nursing home. Knocking on wood. I don't mean that literally. But anyway, interesting story. I like that. I like it a lot. Hope you guys liked it as well. And again, that was another case of freaky phenomena. There we go. Freaky phenomena. I like it. We don't do a lot of freaky phenomena yet, but it's a fun topic. It's full of lots of great possibilities, such as time slips, spatial slips, Mandela effects, weird phenomena like, maybe like the Bermuda Triangle, if you will, and not really like, that doesn't seem like much of an event anymore. That seemed like something that was happening for a period of time, but seems to maybe have balanced itself out. Maybe there's something with the Earth biorhythm at that time that really triggered a lot of weird things. But anyway, that's all kind of freaky phenomena. And we'll certainly keep exploring them as these stories come up. I got a placeholder for it now, so that's good. How are we doing? Oh my God, it's 8:10. We got to get to the next segment. It's going so fast, folks, but it's time for...
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? There you go. It's time for What the Hell Is That, ladies and gentlemen. This is a segment where we explore strange photos and video that suggests evidence of paranormal events. Sometimes they're UFO-y, sometimes they're ghostly, sometimes they're cryptozoological or other stuff, and we just look at it. Now, the idea is to kind of evaluate it. Does it look like something that might be legitimate, or does it look like an absolute hoax? And I just really like this segment because it really reinforces critical thinking in examining this stuff. There's a lot of people out online right now that are just like, you can show them anything and they're all on. They're all in. They're on board with whatever you show them. They're like, yep, for sure. The old, the pictures of a bush and there's 50 squatches in there. They can swear to it, and I'm not making fun of anybody. I just think that, but you have to really use logic as you're examining this stuff, not just coming from an emotional place with a confirmation bias, because it's all of this stuff really is about moving the needle forward to me. Like, as we look at it, as we look at potential evidence, we're looking for the fake. We're looking for the not real. And once you remove that as much as you can, that means whatever you're left with may actually be incredible events. And so that's what I love about this segment. And I think it's, a great points of discussion. You guys have really nailed these in the last several, since I've been doing it. You guys have just really dialed into real specific things. Your eyes are catching things that even I'm not catching. So you guys are excelling at this. And I've really enjoyed seeing that happen as we go through these. But we got some things to look at. I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of material for us to examine. And you can be the judge. Again, is it real? Maybe. Any of this stuff could be not real. And that's honest to God. The best we can do is just say, well, it all can be fake. And that's probably pretty close to accurate for a lot of it. But what I want to do with this segment is not go, anything could be AI and everything could be AI. And you wouldn't be wrong to say everything is AI. And you could be right. But does it look like it might be real? Does it look like it at least passes the initial sniff checks, like, that looks like a bunch of string pulls in a room to open doors and stuff, or, the average, usual hoaxy stuff? Sure, any of it could be fake, but is it possible that it's real, or could be real? It says border. The ghost box says border. We're on the border of being hypercritical, and giving it a shot is what you're looking at, maybe. And you're going to vote. You guys in the audience are going to vote. The way you vote is at the end of everything that I show you. I'm going to say, so what do you think? Time to vote. If you think what you looked at could be real evidence, there's a possibility. Give it a 1. If you think what you looked at is very clearly not real and it's a bunch of crap, give it a 0. 1 for maybe real, 0 for absolutely not, fake, garbage. And then there's decimals. Like if you're kind of halfway, 0.5. Yeah, maybe. If you're more than halfway but not quite sold, 0.75, 0.8, whatever. Closer to 1. But if you're more towards the not believing, that you believing that it's garbage, 0.2, 0.3, whatever. So feel free to use your own discretion. This isn't an exercise that you should believe something or you shouldn't. I just want your honest feedback. What are you looking at? What are you seeing? What do you think? So that's what the hell is that is all about. And we're going to start. We're coming from Facebook for the first one. The Facebook page is The Haunted Show. And I've not checked this out, but it's kind of cool. It's a haunted show. That sounds cool. Maybe they do a lot of this evidence stuff, but check out The Haunted Show on Facebook and give them some love. So the first one is a photo, I guess. It says a strange shadowy figure next to a couple photograph in Pennsylvania. So let's check out this one. It sounds like it's got music, so I'm not going to show you the music, but damn it, they put it in a video thing, like a short, and I can't blow it up because it's not an actual image, even though it's a photo. I'll just put it up on screen because I can't play it unless I turn the music all the way off. I guess I could do that. Let me turn it way, way down first, and we'll start playing it. If it's really obnoxiously music, then I got to turn it off. Otherwise, I get copyright strikes, and that's not fun. Here we go. There it is. That's the image. I'm not sure. I'm assuming these are the two people, and this wasn't expected. What do you guys think? Boy, that's obnoxious. That's just too loud. Jesus. You don't have to make your videos with, concert level sound. What do you guys think? Is this potentially a real spirit photo? Spirit photo bombing? I will say this, just in looking at this. When you take a photo, generally speaking, people frame it. You want your subjects in the center. And then everything else as scenery or scenic behind. This is not framed for just these two at the center. This is framed for all three of them, actually. So is it possible that this guy just moved too much and it got blurry and lost some of the detail or most of the detail? But the way it's framed, it's like it was framed expecting. If it was just these two should be shifted about halfway again to the center of the frame if somebody's taking the photo that knows about taking photos, which everybody does nowadays. Everybody's taking photos. Hell, there's more pictures of sandwiches on the internet than there is children now. It's like, family photos. So everybody's taking photos. Everybody's a Instagram model. Just ask them. So what do you think? Is this real? Do you think this is real? So we got a lot of zeros. 0.5 from Nathan Nate. Excuse me. The gorgeous model. Amanda, Lane, Kedster, Henry Dog, Adventures with Beth, Rachel gets it right, and Grandizer are all sitting at 0. Yeshua is 0 as well. Kitty Caddywhack 0. John Temperance says Bigfoot. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a Sam Squanch. Sandwiches. There you go. 0 for Bonnie Moore. She's not buying this. Sharon Sunshine's giving it a 0.3. There's a chance it could be, and it could be. It could be. It's just framed like it's, it's all. They framed up the shots seemingly to balance all three people in the middle. That's what's a little suspect. Wizard Moon, nope. NDA, nope. From Josie. What is NDA? I don't know. It's non-disclosure agreement. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that's an NDA. Sorry. 0 from BJ. Phil Funk, nope. And Undead Jed, nope. 0.5 from Mel. He's got it halfway. Yeah, could be. It could be legitimately a ghost photo. Man from the West 420, 0. 0.2 from Brent Von Hollen. Shane Gord gives it a 0. My intuition says nope. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking the same. So 0.5 from Dog Digger. A 1 from Barbara seems transparent. Yeah, I mean, it does. And it could be legit. It could just be a bad framing of the photo. Maybe they wanted more of this side just for the scenery, and that could be. So 0.00005 from Eric Fry. NDA means no in Abenaki. Oh, okay. How do you pronounce that? Nda? That's kind of curious. That's cool. I can't see it well enough, so I can't say. Fair enough. I mean, I can't blow it up either because it's a video. So, unfortunately, why would they make a video of a photo? I don't know. But they did. And they put stupidly loud music with it. So, God bless them. I'm not trying to be hypercritical, but it certainly makes it hard to showcase it and really look at what we're seeing. So, there you go. That is the votes that we have for this one. And I think you guys, are right. I think it seems to be that it was framed for all three people, but it could actually be a ghostly apparition too. And remember, there isn't any wrong answers for this either. So don't worry if you're saying something that's contrary. Anna Bolney's giving it 4. How'd you give it 4? 4? That's a lot. That's like 4 times yes, that's real. But anyway, unless you meant 0.4, like just under halfway. Could be. But anyway, that was the first one. Hope you guys like that. What did I do? Oh, yeah, more garbage. Let's go to the next one. And this one is, what is the next one here? Hold on. All right. The next one is coming from, let me close that. Interesting. I don't remember what this one is. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. I remember now. This is some weird. Now, again, is this legitimate? I don't know. Could be. There's people have captured some strange stuff going on in the clouds. Is this it? I don't know. Apalagi ini. Ini in Indonesian is here, like where it's close to you, like usually. I don't know if that's Tagalog or not, though. I'm not sure. Tagalog, I think is how they pronounce it, honestly. But that which would be Filipino, but it says Indra Sumalang, which sounds maybe it's Malaysian, but it's very similar to words in Indonesian. But let me just translate. Translate.google.com. Detect language. Apalagi ini. What is this now? Okay. So ini, it's actually sini in Indonesian for here, but this or here. Yeah, this or, yeah. So maybe in Tagalog, what does it say it is? It says it's Indonesian. Okay. I don't know. I've not seen, maybe this is ini and here is sini. Okay. I'm learning. Like I said, I'm just trying to learn. So let's check this one out and see what you guys think. Here it is on screen. Here's it, and I don't know. I really don't know what I'm looking at here, so I'm wide open on possibilities for this one, folks. So I'm going to rely on your assessments. What are you seeing? Watch carefully. This is a video. I'll tell you what, they got this. Oh, let me turn down the volume. They got the volume really cranked on this, but there is that looks like maybe Jakarta. And that is not missiles. Missiles don't go that fast. That would be almost, God, I don't know how fast that would be moving. But there aren't missiles that clear a whole sky like that quickly. So whatever we're looking at, probably not that. I don't think it's a lightning, but what are we looking at? I don't know. I mean, it does kind of look like a sped up. Maybe it's sped up missile launches. I don't know, but if this is in Indonesia, they don't generally launch missiles much there. It's a pretty peaceful country. I don't know what's going on. So what do you guys think? Tell me. Yeah, it does look like Star Wars. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, that's true, Beth. Rockets, yeah, I mean, that was the first thing I thought too, but when I saw the scale of the sky, it's like, no, we don't have missiles that go that quick. That's nearly laser speed. I mean, it's not quite light speed, but it's really fast. Maybe that's some of those hypersonic missiles they talk about, but even that seems way too fast, because that is literally maybe 10 miles of distance that is just shooting off in an instant. You know, when you look at a horizon that big, I mean, it's cloudy, but that's still a lot of real estate to be covering. Rocket would be like that. That I would say rocket, but when it's going this fast, and it's not just one directional. It seems to be either it's coming from here and going up, or it's coming from here and going down, but it's so fast I can't make it out which direction is traveling, or is it both directions? What do you guys think? Do you have any feedback? Please let me know. Let's see. Amanda's Crazy Life Channel 0. Railguns? Oh, yeah. I never thought about that, but they certainly do launch objects hypersonically. I just, usually I think railguns are generally one shot and then recharge and then one shot, but maybe there's a bank of them. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what Indonesia has available to it as far as militarily. They're certainly not on the first world stage as far as military development and stuff. But, yeah. 0.5 from Kedster, 0 from Amanda. Never mind me. Yeah, or tracer rounds, Aussie. I think it's still going too fast. It's... Maybe it could be some of those... what do they call those robotic, with the miniguns on it that are like 30 millimeter miniguns? And they're shooting down missiles in Iran right now with them, and drones. But maybe it's something like that. But I still don't know of any military stuff going on in Indonesia. But maybe this is not Indonesia. Maybe it's just recorded by an Indonesian. It could be in Iran. It just doesn't. We don't have any information. That's the hard part. Yeah, tracer rounds. 0.5 for me. Is it a vid of a game? I don't think so. It kind of, the horizon looks real enough. It doesn't look like CGI, but it's getting harder to tell. True, the video games are looking almost photorealistic now too. 0.5, I really don't know. AI until there's more information. Tracer rounds is a good guess. Barbara says, Dog Digger's not really sure. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm perplexed. There is an auditory phenomena to it. It's not just silent, so whatever it is something truly cutting through the air somehow. And maybe it's sped up. Maybe it's just a missile battery that's been sped up a lot to make that, so quick. But it does look like it's going both ways. Like sometimes it's coming from here, shooting up, and sometimes it's going back towards the here. Whatever it is, it's freaking crazy. I don't know. I'm perplexed. Undead Jed, 0.5. 0.5 Henry Dog, WD40. Mel says 0.25. I have no idea. 0.2 said Sharon. Bonnie's giving it a 1. Whatever it is, it's the real deal. And it could be. Tracer are way slower. That's what I was thinking too. Maybe not way slower, but slower. Whatever this is just screaming through that whole skyline. And that's where maybe it is sped up. And maybe that's the discrepancy. Seems like something from a video game. It does. It looks like any number of video games, but it is... When they show the horizon down here on the bottom, that's where it's like, well, that really looks like real footage. I don't know. But this one really kind of threw me. Real video, but I give it a 0.5, Aussie Boss Tiger says. One term, Katyusha's rockets. I don't know what that means, Grandizer, and maybe that makes sense. I don't know. 0.3 from Kitty Cattywhack. Kayusha is way slower, says Aggravated Progressive. High-tech weaponry? Yeah, maybe the railguns is a good guess. Brent, if you recall, the Russians used Katyusha's rockets versus the Nazis. Man, one of the most feared weapons in World War II, the sound of them. Yeah, it could be, but this speed is just off the charts. This is way faster than rockets that I know of, but I know there are hypersonic rockets that do like 5 times the speed of sound, so maybe this is what that looks like. I don't know. It's Godzilla, maybe. Tel Aviv, yeah, maybe. I don't know. This doesn't mean it's an Indonesian video, but it doesn't mean it happened in Indonesia. I'm just assuming that it might be from Indonesia. There's a lot of Indonesian people working abroad as assistants to wealthy people around the world, though, so it's a very common thing for people to ship off to like China and stuff, and work in Singapore and stuff, and around Asia. So portal rockets are fast. They are. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little perplexed. Yeah. 0.5, Car Juice says, just guessing something by someone's military. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's a good point, Car Juice. It's probably military something, but this might be one of those military things that we don't really know about yet. It's maybe they're not talking about this stuff yet. It hasn't made the press release portion yet. But time will tell. Time will tell, but that's what we got on the second video. It really confused me. I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I'll put the link to this video in the chats if you guys want to look at it closer. See if you can find out more information if you're interested. I really just don't know what I'm looking at. And so it's in Rumble and it's in the YouTube, Facebook, X chats. So maybe that'll give you something. I don't know. Maybe. But that's that one. Let's get to the next one because I got 4 more. Got 4 more to get through. And it's about 8:30, so I want to get some cryptids at the end here. This one's a possible Bigfoot family filmed near Oklahoma campsite. It's coming from paranormalwarehouse.com on their Facebook page. Paranormalwarehouse.com, potential Bigfoot family. I don't know. See what you guys think. Here it is. It's a video, so let's check it out. Here we go.
A group of campers in Oklahoma recorded what appears to be multiple large figures moving near their campsite at night. The shapes seem to travel together, briefly visible between trees before disappearing into the darkness. Some viewers believe the footage shows a family of Bigfoot moving through the area, while others suggest it could be animals misidentified in low light conditions. Because
I don't know how many animals walk by bipedally like that, but I'm thinking, well, there's a man, and then there's Bigfoot. 2.
as the video
Or Dogman, maybe.
is unclear and partially obstructed, it's difficult to confirm exactly what was captured. So what do you think was moving through that campsite? A group of campers...
I don't know. I'm going to turn off the narration now. There it is. There's not a lot to go on, folks, but there's some glowing eyes peeking through there. There's at least 2 I can see. 2 heads. But what are we looking at? I don't know. It's near an Oklahoma campsite. Could be real. Could be legit. I mean, it's very well hidden. Still back in the thick. The appearance lines up with so many witness reports where it's like they don't just come out and just walk in the open. They walk back in behind cover. They stick to behind cover. And there it is. I mean, it absolutely looks like it could be legit to me. But weigh in. Let me know what you think. What do we got for some votes? We got a bunch of votes already. Let's have a look. Looks like, where are we starting? Oh, hell no. The gorgeous model's like, oh, hell no. Amanda's Crazy Life channel gives it a 1, as does Aggravated Progressive. We got Elaine with a 1. Rachel gives it a 1. I Likey, Ben from Oz gives it a 1. Andrew Gnome's Trucking Express, 1. Aussie Boss Tiger, 1. Undead Jed, 1.5 from the gorgeous model, halfway there. Wizard Moon gives it a 1. Pixie Ranger, 1. Holy sweet, a Bigfoot family from 420. Adventures with Beth typed out 1. Bonnie Moore's not giving it a 1. She's giving it a 0. And that's okay. You don't, maybe it's not hitting you right. John Temperin, 1. Animals side by side. You think it's just animals, John? You're not thinking it's something like a Bigfoot? You think it's just like maybe deer or moose or something like that? I'm just trying to understand what you mean by animals. Henry Dog gives it a 0.25. Yeah, giving it a shot, but not much of one. That's okay. Too hard to see them to even guess. Fair enough, Bonnie. That's fair. We got Nathan Nate with 1. 1 Bigfoot or Dogman, something big and bipedal. That's what I'm seeing too. Bonnie Moore gives it nope, nothing. Kedster, half. Shane Gord gives it 0.3. Phil Funk gives it half. I Am Varix gives it 1. All in on that one. I lost faith in videos with AI. Well, it's true. It's any of this stuff could be AI. All of it could be. But does it look like it might be? Yeah, I think it certainly depicts that shy behavior that's so common in Bigfoot sightings. That could be almost anything. 0.5. You're right, it could be. With the bugs in the picture, I say it's legit. 1, Phil Jones says. Yeah, good point. There is bugs zooming by, so that does seem to lend credibility. 1, because no red circles. And 420 Man from the West gives it a whole lot of zeros. Anna Bolney gives it 1. Grandizer gives it a 1. Animals. Okay, just animals for John. Fair enough. I think it does look bipedal. Looks like it's upright. Seems to be reaching with an arm as it's walking, that big first one. But I can see it probably a lot clearer than you guys can. So there's detail. And I'll give you guys a link to this one as well in the chat. You can look at it for yourself. What do we got? Anything else? Looks like that's the votes. 0.5 from Eric Fry. I think that's 0.5. It says 5, but does that mean 0.5, Eric? All right, over in Rumble, we've got Barbara Mora with 1, Dog Digger 1, and Car Juice 1. Yeah, I think it very well could be the real thing. It's following almost a template that we've heard thousands of times before of Bigfoot cutting through the woods near people, but still far enough away to be in cover. So there's the one over in the Restream chat, and now I'm putting it over in Rumble. You guys can check it out for yourself and see it in a bigger size, hopefully. But that's as big as I can show you here. So good one. I like this one. I think it's very strong possibility. We're looking at the real thing. All right, this one is kind of cool. It's from the Supernatural Sleuth. Who's that? I think he's from Tennessee. He's like a sheriff or a policeman. Older gentleman, but seems like a real neat guy. He's been doing a lot of reaction videos talking about stuff, these videos. He always gives it a bit of narration at the front. I cut off the narration part of this, but his channel is Supernatural Sleuth. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Facebook. And he's got a bunch of great videos just going through this stuff. So here's his video. He was doing one about the Ed Warren confronts a demonic poltergeist. This is some footage that's been around a long time from back when Ed and Lorraine did investigations. Obviously, they're both deceased now, but this one I always thought was pretty surprising. I know that some people really have a lot of issues with Ed and Lorraine Warren as calling them hoaxers or whatever. I don't know. I mean, from everything that I know of them, which is very little, they seem genuine. Maybe they were sensational. Maybe they were doing things. Like, I've never really researched them, so I don't really know the inside baseball on all that. As Darkwater says, the inside baseball. I don't know all that scuttlebutt about them. I know there's a lot of claims that they were, causing problems and doing things. I don't know, but I don't know. I've always appreciated their work for what that's worth. So you be the judge. But let's check this out. This is apparently Ed confronting a demon in one of the houses, one of their cases. So let's check it out. It's kind of small, but it's old film anyway. So the resolution is just as fine small as it is big. The bigger it is, the harder it gets to really see what the hell is going on. I don't know what the hell is that noise? Jesus. Is that like a fan and they got a really crappy microphone? Probably. This is probably the 70s, early 80s. So anyway.
In the name of Jesus Christ, and I command you to reveal your identity. Give me some sign.
The chair move.
You moving something? Give me some sign that you're here. Good. Do you want this family to stay here in this house? I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to reveal your identity.
I think I was just Ed sneezing there.
Jesus Christ and the blood of Christ.
Chair's moving a little more.
I command you to reveal your identity in some way.
Whole table's moving now.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal your identity.
In this rare footage, Ed Warren.
So that's kind of interesting. Like, that's a heavy wooden table. It's not I mean, is it impossible it could be a string pull? No. I mean, it sure could be, I guess. Again, I don't know Ed and Lorraine if they were really up to shenanigans or not, but there's something with that. I think this might be a good capture, but it might not be. What do you guys think? There's a lot we can't see. Can't see the legs and stuff, and if something's tied onto there, the one thing I don't like about it is all the action goes towards the camera, which means that's where Ed is. So, I mean, he could be yanking a cord at the same time as making these statements. So, but it could also be very legit. What do you think? Time to vote. 0.25 from Aussie Boss Tiger. Rachel gets it right, gives us a 0.5. Just because it's Ed, 0, says Beth. I agree with you, Delilah. What did Delilah say? It's crazy to me that people will believe the devil and demons are real, but not Jesus. I believe they're all real, probably. Yeah. I think so, but that's just me. Undead Jed gives it 0.5. 0 from I Am Verax. Wizard Moon gives it 0.5. Bonnie's 1. All in on this. Elaine's halfway. Andrew Gnome Stalking 0.5. Sharon Sunshine 0.3. Phil's not buying this at all. I will say 0. I didn't see anything. I'll put a link in the chat. Brent Van Hoen is 0.7. 0 from 420 Man from the West, and Kedster as a 1. There's Portal Mom. How you doing? So I'm going to go ahead. I'll just watch the table. Pay attention to the chair and table. They definitely shift towards this way. And that's the moment that it seems something profound may very well be happening, or some kind of shenanigans maybe happen, depending on your point of view. There we go. Let's see what's going on in Rumble. Dog Dagger's giving it a halfway. Holy Toledo, 1 from Barbara Mora. And Carjuice is giving it 0.25. Yeah. Brent Thomas, cousin had a sealed room ranshackled. Your cousin had this. Oh, yeah, no, that was my cousin in Michigan. Yeah. That was my cousin Paul. Yep. And you can hear that story yourself if you go and check out a Haunting in Michigan episode on the podcast. I interviewed him there. You can hear in detail all of the accounts. It is, to date, the most profound haunting that I've ever been a part of. And the way that I say I was a part of it, I wasn't there for the activity, but I was talking to him every day. He would call me and give me the rundown of what happened. It was a period of like 30 days. 30 days. And it started at 3 a.m. on like October 1st. And it ended at like on October 30th, I think, of that year. Just ended. Boom, was done. So it was 1 month of incredibly profound events. But please listen to that episode. If you're in it looking for some pretty powerful haunting stuff and talking about all the experiences they had, you definitely would want to hear that. So yeah, that one was good. I don't know. Again, I don't know all the scuttlebutt about the Warrens. I know some people really don't like them. Other people absolutely love them. And I don't know. I don't know them, and I don't know the details, so I'm not going to judge them. I don't know them, but, is this legitimate? Might be. It's a heavy table. It'll be, a tough thing to just yank. I mean, we don't know how heavy the rope is that could be pulling it, though, either. But the whole thing moves, The whole thing absolutely moves. So, all right, let's go. Did you guys want that video? I can post that in the chat as well. And you guys can check it out. This is, again, on Facebook. And it's hosted by the Supernatural Sleuth, who is the gentleman that you saw talking at the end there. And at the beginning, rather. There he is. Well, I can see him. You can't see him. But anyway, there it is. There's the link to this one. And then we got 2 more. And then we'll probably have time for 1 article from Phantoms and Monsters. And that will be our journey into the paranormal portal for the day. All right, this one is a Civil War soldier ghost, and this one is tough to see. I will give you guys this one, the link to this one. In fact, maybe I'll give it to you now, because it is tough to see, and I know that it's hard to have a really crummy video rebroadcast to you through a small window and to try to pull all the detail that I'm seeing. You can see an apparition behind this child this kid that's doing a flip, I guess. And you can see it looks like a Civil War ghost, but maybe you guys won't be able to. So there's the link if you want to check it out for yourself, or do you want to watch it on the screen with us all here? You're welcome to. But here you go, Civil War soldier ghost, ? This is from That Haunted Show. This is another one from That Haunted Show. So let's check this one out. I like this one. This is a pretty cool capture. But here you go.
You recording?
Yep.
Oh, now my socks are like wet because of the ground.
It's in the background. There's an apparition that walks by about maybe 10 yards behind this kid going this way. There it is. The red arrow helps. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it does look like he's in that gear.
All right, ready?
By the outlines. I mean, you can't see a lot of detail, but it does seem to have that kind of silhouette
Like wet because of the ground.
of like that old cap and some kind of pack.
Yeah.
But there you do. What do you think of this one, guys? What do you think? Did they capture a Civil War ghost? I think it down in Gettysburg, it's probably likely, honestly. 0.75 from Undead Jed. I see his rifle. Oh, you do? Okay, very cool. I wasn't sure if you could see the rifle or not, but that's why I wanted to give you guys the link so you could see it for yourself. All right, what do we got? 0.75 from Ben. And Nate gives it a 1. Rachel gives it a 1. Amanda gives it a 1. 0.5, can't see well enough. Yeah, I gave you the link in the chat. Beth, maybe you can check it out there. Bonnie Moore gives it a 1, as did Wizard, Kitty, Caddywhack, and the Gorgeous Model. I'll give it a 1. Manasas is haunted. I don't know what Manasas is. Elaine gives it a 1, as did Blue Cruz. Aussie Boss Tigers gave it 0.666. A little more than half. John Temperin, 0.5. Sharon Sunshine, 0.6. Anna Balney gives it a 1. BJ gives it a 1. 0.7 from Phil. And Kedster gives it a 1 over in Rumble. We've got, looks like he has a long thing 1 from Barbara. 0.75 from Car Juice. Yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant by the long thing, Barbara. 0.75 from Dog Digger. Yeah. But yeah, it is tough to see in this small format and being rebroadcast through my computer. So, Brent V, howdy. Oh, you're not talking to me. Oh, whatever. And Portal Mom gives it a 1. There you go. She thinks it's real too. I think it might be. Certainly, there's no shortage of people catching apparitions in Gettysburg. There's a lot of activity that continues to be a part of that landscape to this day, but the land was absolutely baptized in the blood of people, through the Battle of Gettysburg. So, doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of lingering energy there. All right, that one's that one. That one's that one. How's that for profound? We got one more. This one comes from YouTube, and this is, what is it? Wraith Nights, like Wraith, Wraith, Nights, Nights, and then it's 0107. Says real ghost. Let's see what you guys think. Last one of the night. For what the hell is that? Let's have a look. Here it is.
The reason for trying to drive away the ghost was that while mom and son were in the room, son saw something and got scared.
This family has recorded a ton of different activity happening in their home. I don't know.
Cave.
It's not a cave. Maybe it used to be a cave. I don't know. The ghost box says cave. But this family has recorded a ton of these videos, and I don't know. Is it too much? Maybe. Maybe it is. But it always strikes me as odd when you get a ton of incredible events captured on film. It's like, what are the odds? Now, they do have an indoor camera that's always recording, so I guess if something happens in that space, they're probably going to catch it. They're probably better situated to catch it than most of us. But here it is. Let's keep going.
Mom threw a cloth in that direction, and the cloth transformed into a ghost. In the second incident, while everyone was lying on the bed, a figure appeared from above. At that moment, a stool fell to the floor. Seeing this, Mom went outside, but the doors were closed, and son got scared and panicked. The reason for trying to drive away the ghost was that while
Kid got shut in the room. That's horrible. I don't like this one at all. I don't like you throw a blanket and, oh, it's a ghost now. It's a Halloween ghost. I don't like that one at all. This one could be, but it's the same family. It's the same family with the same baby. So chances are these are not real. But what do you guys think? Lots of zeros so far. Time to vote. Yep, more zeros. Yeah, Car Juice says, but Gettysburg, you can feel the energy there for sure. Yep, it was Casper. Yeah, it's like the obligatory Halloween ghost. Throw a sheet on. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I don't think anybody's on board with these. It's unfortunate because some of them that they had posted previously looked like, well, it could be the real thing. She got her hair pulled there. And I don't know. Just shenanigans, I think. This one really, the whole let's throw a blanket and it becomes a ghost. Yeah, no, come on. Even Portal Mom's not buying that one. Aussie Boss Tiger's got .222 on it, though. Henry Dog gave it 4 zeros. He's all into nothing to see here. Yep, her hair gets pulled. It went after the kids and adults. It spared no one. Yeah. It was not even nice about it. -1. Phil says it actually owes him money. Well, sorry about that, Phil. I lowered the bar a bunch here. There you go. I don't think there's any reason to continue talking about that one. Clearly not legitimate. But there you go. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was tonight's adventures into the segment we like to call...
What the hell is that?
Indeed. What the hell is that? So we got a few minutes left. I think it'd be a great moment to go and visit us some phantoms and monsters for another incredible creature report that's not Bigfoot or Dogman, and it is something else. I don't know if this is the one I wanted to visit or was it this one? Actually, this one, because of what I used for the thumbnail. Both of which, these stories are not Bigfoot or Dogman. So, you're in luck. All right. This is one that we like to call... It's what we like to call... The Cryptid Corner. All right, this is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to just do this one article. This is from Phantoms and Monsters, once again, Lon Strickler's site. Incredible site. Please support it. And this is Giant Human Encounter. Soldiers claimed the ground shook before a colossus passed through the jungle. I'm here to tell you, I've heard a few giant stories through the years, not just the Kandahar giant, but there's a few stories out there, one of which I think I heard from Sasquatch Chronicles years ago. It was this old hunter was hunting, and he was up in his stand, and he was an older guy, like 70s or 80s. I mean, but he loved to hunt, and he'd been hunting his whole life. And he went up into his hunting stand up in the mountains, I think of Montana, but I might be wrong. Maybe it was Wyoming, Montana, whatever. But he was sitting there in his tree stand. Or his blind. I don't remember if it was a tree stand or a blind, but he's sitting there. And suddenly he hears... Maybe this would be better. Coming and getting louder and louder. He's like, what that? And it's coming from behind him. And he's kind of facing like towards a clearing in a mountain. And he said, suddenly, this being with red hair, standing about 15 to 20 feet tall, comes out of the forest behind him, off to his side. Didn't notice him, but it is literally a giant. And it's walking right out of the forest and walks right up the mountain. And that old guy who had lived, eaten, breathed this hunting for his whole life, stopped hunting that day. That's the story I remember. I'm probably paraphrasing this a bit, but the gist of it is, yeah, he saw a giant pass by where he was hunting, and he quit hunting. And it went up the mountain, and he just couldn't believe that what he was seeing. This is a guy who lived in the forest. One of those stories. Hey, I'm out in the forest all the time. If I ain't seen it, it ain't there. Until it is. And then it's there. So let's check out this story. They're very rare that we get stories like this, but when they come up, we got to check them out. Giant human encounter. Soldiers claim the ground shook before a colossus passed through the jungle. In the early years of the El Salvador Civil War, one soldier said he and 6 others were deep in the jungle when the ground began to tremble beneath them. What they believed was an approaching enemy force became something far stranger. A towering human-like figure so large that the men froze in hiding and later struggled to convince anyone at base that it had actually happened. This story was told to me by my uncle and always swore it really happened. He was the only person in the family who ever experienced anything like this, so nobody else could verify it firsthand. Even now, I'm still not sure what to make of it. In 1979, during the Civil War in El Salvador, my uncle was serving in the military. He told me that he and 6 other soldiers were sent into the woods and the jungle to search for armed groups believed to be camped out in the area. After hours of moving through the jungle, they suddenly felt the ground begin to shake. He said it felt like something enormous was coming towards them. He compared it to the scene in Jurassic Park when the T-Rex approaches and everything trembles. At first, they assumed it was an enemy activity, so they immediately took cover. Then he saw something that shocked him. He said a giant figure was walking in the distance. I asked him if it had just been a very large man or some kind of ape-like creature such as Bigfoot, but he insisted that was not what he saw. He said it looked more like a giant human being, something out of Jack and the Beanstalk. Trees partly blocked the view, so he could not make out every detail, but he said it was clearly humanoid and unbelievably large. According to him, it seemed to be as tall as the tallest trees surrounding it. He told me he wanted a better look, but fear took over. Once he realized what he was seeing, he stayed hidden and did not dare move out into the open. The giants simply walked past them. My uncle said all of them were absolutely terrified. They stayed where they were for a while after it passed because they were afraid there might be another one nearby. 2 of the men apparently suggested trying to kill it and become rich, but the man in charge told them to stand down. My uncle said everybody thought the idea was insane. As soon as they felt safe enough to move, they headed back to base as quickly and as quietly as they could. When they reported what had happened, nobody believed them. The pilots in particular dismissed the whole account. They told the soldiers that if something that large were really moving through the jungle, they would have seen it from the air long ago. My uncle said that all of the men described what they had seen, even though not every detail matched exactly. One claimed the figure looked bald. Another thought it might have been wearing some kind of loincloth, almost like Tarzan. He always emphasized one thing to me. He did not believe he got a perfect look at it. What he knew for certain was that the ground shook as though some massive being was approaching, and he then saw what appeared to be a gigantic human form moving through the distance. He hid and waited for it to pass and then got out of there. I asked him the same questions anyone would ask. If something that large were real, would there not be bones, a body, or some trace of it somewhere, especially in a country as small as El Salvador? His answer was simple. I do not know about any of that. I just know what I saw that day. I still do not know what to think. It sounds impossible. My mom once suggested it may have been some kind of spirit, something that manifested as a giant in order to frighten them. She said that during the Civil War, there seemed to be much more paranormal activity because of the sheer amount of death and trauma. My grandmother used to say that in those years, you could look out the window and see bodies laying in the street. But that still does not explain the ground shaking. So I've always wondered if anyone else out there has reported seeing a true giant, the kind that sounds like it came straight out of folklore. That possibility terrified me as a child because If my uncle really did see what he said he saw, it meant something impossible may have walked through that jungle. Here's the commentary. The core pattern here is classic high strangeness witness testimony. Multiple observers, partial visual obstruction, strong fear response, and one dominant physical effect. In this case, the ground vibration. Combined to make the account memorable but difficult to verify. The emotional tone is consistent with genuine shock rather than embellishment. The uncle does not claim perfect observation. That restraint actually helps the credibility of the testimony as a sincere report, even if the event itself remains unexplained. As for the broader giant question, there is a historical basis for giant traditions in Latin America, but the evidence does not support a literal race of tree-height humans. Colonial chroniclers such as Pedro de Cieza de Leon recorded indigenous traditions about giants near Santa Elena and Puerto Vallejo. I don't know. But even the Old English edition notes that this section was derived from hearsay rather than direct observation. Also, Santa Elena and Puerto Vallejo refer to Ecuadorian coast, not the inland Peru, even though such legends later folded into wider Peruvian giant narratives. Some of the evidence often cited today is much weaker than it appears. National Geographic has identified the widely circulated giant skeleton imagery online as a hoax, of course. 2001 Moche tomb discovery in Peru is real, but it does not document a race of giants. Reports on the excavation said the men were unusually tall for their population, roughly 5 feet 9 to 6 feet, and one account noted archaeologists suspected a hereditary condition such as Marfan syndrome, but it is notable stature in context, but is nowhere near the legendary giant size. Man, there's a lot of notes. Likewise, strange giant-headed Peruvian mummies do not automatically point to non-human beings or giant races. In the Andes, intentional cranial modification is well documented. But that doesn't account for actual volume increase. Modification of the, binding the skull will misshape it and give it a different shape, but some of these skulls have like 20% more volume than a human skull. So that invalidates that claim, in my opinion. Were culturally produced several pre-Inca populations. Archaeology also confirms that child sacrifice occurred in the Andes, so an odd-looking child mummy is not by itself evidence of a giant or unknown species. From a biological standpoint, verified human gigantism is rare. Yeah, Robert Wadlow, 8 feet, 11 inches. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to Lon's note. For readers following unexplained humanoid encounters throughout Latin America, this El Salvador Civil War report stands out because it blends the battlefield tension, physical environment effects, and a giant human-like form seen by multiple soldiers. Whether interpreted as misidentified phenomena or folkloric manifestation or a true high strangeness event, it fits the broader pattern of witness accounts in which fear, isolation, and partial observation leave behind a deeply convincing personal memory but very little hard evidence. That was from Lon. Yeah. I don't know. I think there very well could be, or perhaps it's some kind of dimensional shift kind of thing where they just kind of pop through every once in a while, much like the time slip story from earlier, where suddenly this guy was walking with people from the 1940s attire, and then suddenly they were gone and he was back to normal. Well, maybe these soldiers ended up in an event like that they were observing. I thought they found some ruins in South America that were almost seemed to be fashioned by the giants, like they were just huge steps. They found I don't know if it was footprints or something in stone down there that looks like it was from a huge foot. I don't know. There's some really crazy stuff. But at any rate, if you don't believe in giants, fair enough. There's not a lot to go on for giants as far as, stories, or certainly not evidence. There's much, much less. There's anecdotal stories here and there, but there isn't much to go on. There you go. That's the show tonight, folks. I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you all for joining me and being a part of the journey here on the Paranormal Portal. And if you like it, please hit the like before you leave. That would be wonderful. And if you really liked it, get subscribed. I'd love to have you stick around and get notifications on so you get notified. But we do these live shows every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Love to see you and join the Discord. Go check out paranormalportal.net, which is the homepage of the Paranormal Portal. It gets all my social media links and information about the podcast, which if you're not already listening, you can find our Paranormal Portal podcast on all of the podcasting platforms. So do a search, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Do a search for Paranormal Portal and you can find all 7 seasons so far of the show and going. Still getting to the later part of the 7th season, but yeah, I'd love to see you over there too. So that's what we got time for. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care of yourselves. Remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. I really loved it, both wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much. And spread the word. Feel free to share the episodes. And if you're watching it when it's not live, please leave me a comment. That'd be really cool. I love comments, so I read them all. I don't always reply because I just don't have time. But I do read them all. So anyway, that's it for tonight. See you guys Wednesday for the next live show. And watch social media on Facebook, Brent Thomas page, for any notifications or, whatever. Or on the Discord. I always post notifications on Discord as well. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm tired. I'm all out of gas. So good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you maybe on Wednesday. If you're not busy, stop by. Love to see you. Good night, everybody.